Javelina Nation, and welcome to episode 3 of the Javelina Coaches Show for the 2021-22 season. We appreciate you tuning in after another good week for the Javelina teams, whether it was here in Kingsville or elsewhere. I'm your host, Mark and Sarah, and we appreciate you stopping by. We're joined by our first guest, is our head Javelina indoor volleyball coach, Tanya Allen. Hello again, Coach.
Hello, welcome.
2-0 week for you guys. 2-0 start to your conference schedule. This past week, you beat Midwestern and Cameron here at home. What were your most important takeaways from the way your team played this past weekend?
We had a very strong offensive performance all weekend. We had a lot of hitters get involved. A lot of hitters were very dominant. We hit for a very high percentage, which is really important in this conference. We've kind of told them like our numbers and our goals, and we limited our errors, and we bettered balls, and we made good decisions as far as attacking goes, and I think we caused a lot of problems. We made it difficult for those teams to get kind of any defensive flow going.
So many times you look at the non-conference schedule as the opportunity for everyone to kind of grow into their roles and kind of hone and sharpen their tools. And then the conference schedule where you really you want to buckle down and have this team play its best, especially in a tough conference like this one. Do you feel like you saw this team take a step forward this week? This past week?
Absolutely. We're definitely moving forward, but I don't think we've seen their best yet. I am kind of excited about that. I mean, as a coach, I know what they're capable of, and I know exactly how good they can be, and we haven't reached that point yet. So that's really exciting. We keep pushing them, we keep working on getting better, and I think more good things are to come.
The depth on this team, especially on the outside, has really shown itself so far. Is this something, did you know you had a team that was this deep going into the season?
Absolutely. Yeah, we tried. I mean, that was one of our main goals, is to try to recruit a lot of kids that could compete in a lot of different positions, and I think that makes us better. When you know there's some depth and you know there's a bunch of options, one, the kids will work harder because they know they're trying to earn a spot. And two, you know, on any given occasion, you can pull a kid into the game to do certain things and be really successful. You have some more flexibility, you're more dynamic. We just have a lot more weapons. So maybe somebody's not starting, but that doesn't mean they're not really beneficial to the team and can't help us win a lot of games.
Do you feel like your student athletes have done a good job preparing themselves, making sure they're ready for an opportunity if and when it comes?
I think so. I think they all have the right mindset. We remind them of that daily, that every role is important and everybody contributes. And we're really trying to stay positive about that, because it's not always the easiest when you know you're not a starter, or maybe you're not playing, you know, equal amount of time as somebody else. But like I said, everybody is important, and we're going to need all of them at some point throughout the semester.
I had someone say to me after Saturday that these were the two largest crowds he's seen at the Spec for volleyball matches this past weekend. How much did having lively crowds in the building add to the whole game day?
It changes everything. I mean, you can have your not best game and struggle a little, and the crowd can bring you back. And they really put a lot of energy into our play, and you know, you want the fans to be proud of what you're doing. I think the girls want everybody to see how good they are. They want them, you know, to feel that they believe in them. And right now I feel like our fan base is incredibly supportive. They're super positive. They're very energetic, and yeah, we couldn't win those games without them.
How much did your student athletes enjoy having a large crowd at the Spec on Friday and Saturday?
I think they love it. Of course they love it. They love to have as many people there as possible.
Now you guys will be back at home on Saturday, and just for anyone tuning in, Javelina Volleyball will be at home on Saturday at 1 p.m. for a match against A&M International. So what will your priorities be this week, trying to make sure this team's prepared and ready to go on Saturday?
International has two very good outside hitters. They hit pretty good kill percentages, and they're scoring quite frequently. So we're definitely going to have to amp up our blocking and get a better product with that. We're going to keep working on that across the net. And we have to continue our offensive momentum. We are hitting for a high percentage, but I still don't think we've reached our potential. And I think if we run a little bit faster, a little more consistent offense, we're definitely going to be pretty tough to stop.
Without getting into too many details, but like we talked about before, you guys have had to rely on a lot of different players over the course of these first few weeks. How close to sort of the optimal, or how close to 100% as far as, you know, health and everyone being ready and prepared and green lighted to play on Saturday do you expect your team to be?
Well, as of right now, I think we'll be pretty much 100% come Saturday. I mean, pending anything unexpected, we should be at 100%.
Now, so far, you go back to last season, obviously you guys had a really good spring and start 7-0 this season. Do you feel, as the coach, have you felt like this team has had a similar kind of attitude to what you guys had last season? And if so, how much has that helped you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they do have the same mindset. I think they were somewhat shocked in the spring at times at how good we really were, and we had to constantly remind them, like, you guys are really good. You're really good. Be confident. And this year, we still have those moments where we are telling, as coaching staff, we're telling them, hey, you know, set that bar high. We're really good. Don't accept average. Don't be okay with just, you know, a win. Let's try to really excel and be as good as we can possibly be. But this is a good group of kids. I think they have the mindset of a champion, and I think they're willing to put in the work to take us all the way.
Well, we can't wait to see more of you guys over the course of this season, starting again on Saturday. And again, Javelina Volleyball at the Spec, 1 p.m. on Saturday against A&M International. We hope to see all of you there. Should be a good one. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll take our first break of the day on the Javelina Coaches Show. When we come back, we'll talk to our head Javelina football coach, Michael Salinas. Don't go away.
Pele back for the serve. picked up by the Mustangs. Set to the right side, and it is long. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the sweep. Texas
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Javelina Coaches Show. We're joined by guest number 2 today, and that is our head Javelina football coach, Michael Salinas. Coach, thanks for coming by again.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Coming off a 26-point win over Eastern New Mexico, a day where a lot of things went right for your football team on Saturday. And I know we talked about this a little bit on Saturday, but how happy are you with the approach, the attitude, the effort, everything you saw from your team on Saturday?
We're glad we got the win. It's always good. It's tough to win on the road, and for us, not really, we're never happy sort of where we are, but we're going to continue to improve, but just proud of their effort on Saturday, overcoming the trip and then putting together 4 quarters of football.
Yeah, it's a long bus ride back, but I'm sure for you guys it was as enjoyable a bus ride as it could be after a win like that. Now, you had a little bit of a rocky start for your special teams on Saturday when Eastern ran a kickoff back for a touchdown, but other than that, I thought Jacob Cavazos had a really good game punting. You guys, after that kickoff, did a good job covering kicks, and then Gilbert, when your kicker hits 2 40-yard field goals, that's a pretty good day too. How happy are you with special teams overall?
Again, we got to keep improving there, but we had a lapse in coverage on the first one, so we gave up 7 on a kickoff return, which is a sin in our profession. But the kids kept playing; they were resilient, and then our special teams responded after that. Again, we made 2. A 40 and a 46-yard field goal, and then pinned them the rest of the game. And I think the second half, what sort of ignited some of the complementary football at that point was that Eastern was having to start deep in their own territory.
Cavazos didn't begin this season as he wasn't, the guy who knocked out the first punt against Saginaw, but he's kind of taken that job and grabbed it by the throat. What's impressed you the most about the way he's taken over that role and done an excellent job? He's
done a good job there. We have a traditional punt style that we use and coverage, and then we have a roll punt style that we use, which is more of a rugby punt, and he's become our rugby punter. Casper Karch is still our traditional punter, but he's done a good job the last couple weeks, and it was evident Saturday that we flipped the field a little bit on those guys, and we were able to use special teams to our advantage.
What do you think of the way that Gilbert Garza's been kicking so far?
He's come along. We had a competition at the kicking spot for extra point and field goal, and Gilbert has sort of emerged as a little more consistent, but I think Saturday was big for him. He's a freshman, and he had 2 big kicks in a conference ball game.
Defense obviously was fantastic for another week. You guys had second straight week scoring a defensive touchdown and had another opportunity where you set the offense up on the 2. Defense got a safety also in that game. What are the things that this defense has done so well that's made them extremely effective to this point?
I think you got to go back to the preparation. Our guys, our coaching staff, Coach Petty and the defensive staff have done a really good job preparing these guys for game day so they can go out and compete fearlessly and play with a bunch of confidence. They're doing that to this point. We got to continue to run to the football a little bit better and do a better job leveraging the football, but they've been able to create some turnovers, and I think right now doing a great job of playing complementary football, setting up the offense in position to have some favorable positions on the field.
Jonathan Petty didn't become the defensive coordinator on this team until maybe a month or 2 before fall camp started, but what have you liked about the way he's taken over that role and put this defense in a position to make plays to this point?
We had some changes late in the summer to our staff, and Coach Petty had been part of our initial staff here and just felt the right thing to do was to elevate him to the defensive coordinator position. He's proven that he has a knowledge base to get that done, and right now we have a system in place that he's really, really comfortable with, and to this point everything has sort of worked out for us. Now the challenge for our defense is to continue to try to get better week in and week out. So challenge those guys yesterday and see how they respond this week.
You guys have continued to use both quarterbacks, both Zadok Dinkelman and Shane Johnston at this point. Both quarterbacks had their moments. Zadok had a beautiful 43-yard touchdown to Ty Chisholm in the first half that gave you guys the lead, and then Shane took the offense on a long drive late in the game to put it in for really the last game-clinching touchdown. A lot of people say that a team can't function when you use 2 quarterbacks. You guys have done that, and your offense hasn't skipped a beat either way. What has allowed your offense to find success, seemingly regardless of who's taking the snaps?
I think it starts in that quarterback room. Coach LaHue has done a really good job with the quarterbacks. It's an unselfish group. They're going to celebrate each other's victories and successes, and that's hard to do at that position, but these guys have sort of embraced that. They've embodied that all of fall camp, and they've been really good teammates. So the offense, I think, in terms of who's in there, they know that it's going to be a next man up mentality. But in that quarterback room, I think the competition has been good. They've done it the right way. And, you know, it's a group of unselfish guys that know we have to do what's best for our team at that given moment. So they prepare like a starter, whether they're the one or guy that gets a start or they're the two or the three. But I think every guy in that room prepares like a starter, and that's what's allowed them to be successful at this point.
I think we talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. It's kind of a cliche to talk about a team fighting together and, you know, all fighting for the same goal, but this does seem like a team that is really together. It doesn't seem like it's just talk or cliches. How much has the camaraderie and togetherness helped you guys so far this season?
I think that's been our main focus. We've talked about it since August 7th when we reported how fast can we come together as a team, how united can we become. These guys have sort of embraced that. They've worked week in and week out to try to get closer as a football team. It's going to take every person on our team in order for us to win ball games, and we have to learn to play complementary football, and that means that you have to continue to just press forward, whether it's going our way on offense or defense or specials. So our guys have bought into that, and I just hope that we can continue to come together as we move forward this season.
Texas A&M Commerce has been one of the powerhouses, not just in this conference, but in Division II over the course of the last several years, and they'll be here on Saturday. How do you guys, as a coaching staff, make sure your team is prepared for everything that they're going to bring to the table on Saturday night?
We talked to our guys yesterday about just attributing the success we've had to this point to our preparation. So if we can do that, we got to come back to work this week and try to get a little bit better. We challenged every position group and each unit to get better and to try to find a way to get 1% better each day. So we're going to control what we can control. We're going to focus on ourselves. I think our football team has a vision of how good we want to be. We're going to compete against that vision and then be as prepared as possible to put a good product on the field Saturday against a really good Texas A&M Commerce football team.
Do you feel like it's important, regardless of who the opponent is coming in, to make sure that the methods as far as preparation stay the same over the course of a week?
I'm a routine guy. I think our coaching staff and our team have understood that we're going to follow the same routine, not going to change a whole bunch regardless of who our opponent is. We got a really good opponent coming in this week, but in terms of preparation, nothing's going to change. So we're going to work like crazy this week to get better and make sure we're prepared for Saturday.
And that's a 7 p.m. kickoff on Saturday between the Javelinas and Texas A&M Commerce right here in Kingsville at Javelina Stadium. We hope to have all of you with us on Saturday night. Coach, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you on Saturday. Can't wait for it.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll take one more break on the Javelina Coaches Show. Stefanie Maynard, our head Javelina women's golf coach, is our next guest, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Ball spotted on the left hash for Garza. Good snap, ball is down. Kick is good. Garza from 47 hits it. Bounce with Amante Bowen in the backfield. Keeps the Bowen running right through a hole across the 40, the 35. He's at the 30, he moves the chains. Amante Bowen carries it inside the 30. That's an 18-yard run. Good snap, ball is down. Garza's kick is good. And with 3:52 to go in quarter number one, the score is the Greyhounds 7 and the Javelinas 6. Dickelman to throw. He's got some time, throwing it deep downfield for Chisholm at the goal line. He's got it! Touchdown, Javelinas! Welcome back, Ty Chisholm. As Dinkelman and Chisholm hook up for a 43-yard touchdown.
And hit from behind, ball pops loose, and that is going to be a fumble recovery by the Javelinas at the 2-yard line. And there's the snap, and they're going to hand off. This time Anderson plunges into the end zone, and the Javelinas have scored to make it 21-10.
right, blows out to Valencia. The ball's loose in the end zone. It is a Javelina touchdown. Dalen Gantz falls on the snap in the end zone. On third down and 15. So he's going to throw a blitz coming in. Pass over the middle, caught by Hambrick at the 40, running away to the 45, tripped up as he gets to the 49. So much for running the ball and letting the clock tick. Johnson to Hambrick to move the chains. Their own 21 after a penalty. Johnson keeps it himself, runs left side and strolls in for a Javelina touchdown.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Javelina Coaches Show here for 2021 and 22. And we're joined by our third guest, and that is our head women's golf coach, Stefanie Maynard. Hello, Coach.
Hi.
You guys are in a little bit of a break right now in the fall season. First 2 tournaments are in the books, 2 more on the way. What were the things that you learned and things that you liked about yourself and your team through the first two tournaments?
Well, I really liked the attitude I saw. Getting back out on the course and having a full fall season, that we haven't had in 2 years. They were really excited to get going, and they really fought through some adversity. We had some rough holes in both events. We really played better than the scores look. We had some big numbers, and they really fought back from those big numbers, and so that was really good to see that they've got fight in them, and a lot of positivity, honestly, especially coming out of Colorado. They really are riding high, kind of. Even though the scores don't look good, they're really feeling good about themselves right now.
When you look at the young players, you have so many young student athletes on your roster. How much and how happy you've been with sort of the evolution and the growth as far as the attitude is concerned for them over the past few seasons?
It's been exponential, honestly. Really trying to figure out how, because everybody's so different, trying to figure out how to get inside somebody's psyche and really figure out how to grow their confidence. Golf is such a game of confidence and really believing in yourself. It's I would say the past 4 weeks have been very, very key in I would say Fatima and Bree especially. Bree hit the ball better in Colorado than I've seen her hit it in 2 years. She was hitting it very, very solid. She was actually hitting it over greens, which she hasn't done in 2 years. So that was really good to see. She's getting her distance back, and she's really starting to feel like she can play some really good golf. And Fatima, same thing. She started hitting the ball better. Started making some putts towards the end of the round in Colorado, and so I think that if we can get her to make some putts and she can hit the ball a little bit better, then I think her confidence is going to grow as well.
I think we talked about this on the day of giving on Wednesday. You mentioned the fact that, you have players on your roster who are juniors who really haven't played a full season, whether it's been a shortened fall like it was last year or a truncated spring like that happened when they were freshmen. This is the first time you actually get to put a full slate, 4 tournaments in the fall, followed by a slew of them in the spring together for these student athletes. How beneficial is it to finally have the opportunity to let these student athletes play a full season where you don't just get to see them once or twice in either the fall or the spring?
Well, it's gonna be big for me because it's showing me exactly what we need to work on. Last fall was hard because we didn't play until October, and then we only played that one event, and so it was hard to really know what do we need to work on in the off season, what do we need to do to get better, and so this has been really, really nice to already have 2 events under our belt. I know exactly what we need to be working on, and and to be able to do that, to have the time to do that before we have our last 2 events of the fall, and then to have the off season to completely overhaul some of these things to get ready for the spring. That's huge. What
are the things that you want to focus on and are focusing on during this little bit of a fall break with 2 more tournaments coming up?
These 2 weeks we're going to really focus on, and even the last part of last week, a lot of wedges inside 100 yards. We were not very sharp inside 100 yards, missed some greens, really hit some poor shots, and so we're really focusing on that. sharpening up the wedges, and then around the greens, there's some stuff, some shots we've really got to be getting up and down, and we just haven't done it. Just basic chip shots. We missed some putts inside of 5 feet that we usually don't miss, and so that's the things that we're really focusing on. Putting. Getting the ball rolling end over end instead of possibly having a little bit of side spin, and that's how you're missing it. We've worked on reading greens to see if maybe their tendency is to overread or underread greens, and that's something that I've never really done before. I learned that last May, and so that was something new that we started introducing, and we'll work on that a little bit over the next couple weeks.
Now, part of the early part of this season, part of the start of any fall season in women's golf is you're learning a lot about the new faces, the new players you have on your team. What are the things that what have you liked about what you've seen from the new players? What are the things that you've learned about them to this point? What's it been like working with them?
Oh, it's been great. Get some new faces and get some new blood in, and for them to really push. The returners, it's been good. Roxanne's, we've talked about her previously, and her coming in with all the experience that she's got, and she's probably one of the most aggressive players I've ever had. She is very aggressive, doesn't really hold back, and so that's been fun to watch. And we're going to have to learn how to rein that in a little bit. Play a little smarter, maybe make some smarter shot selections. Kristen gets really excited. So we have to learn. She's having to learn how to bring her heart rate down and how to control her emotions a little bit. And then and Alessia, man, I cannot wait to see what this girl does. She's 5'10". She's got a big swing arc. She's going to hit the ball really well. I am excited for her to make a tournament and to see what she can do.
What are the areas you really want to see your team improve in and do better in with 2 more tournaments in the fall before we turn our attention to the spring?
I'd really like to see us, make some better choices off the tee. I think we made some pretty bad choices the first 2 tournaments off the tee box. I don't think we were really focused on where we needed to hit it. So I'd like to see us sharpen that up a little bit. And like I said, I'd like to see us, wedges. When we get inside that 100 yards, you've got to be able to be aggressive, and you got to be on point. So I'd really like to see that be sharper.
All right, well, Coach, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the fall.
Thank you very much.
And we appreciate everyone tuning in for episode 3 of the Javelina Coaches Show for the 2021-22 season. It will be back again next week, but don't forget to put on your calendar. Javelina Volleyball will be at home on Saturday at 1 p.m. and Javelina Football at home at 7 p.m. on Saturday. We hope to see you there for both events. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on the Javelina Coaches Show. So long.